Alright, and welcome back. I've just arrived here in the Northumberland National Park and I'm heading off out for a solo wild camp. I've parked up in a little nearby, just off the A6351 at Geffren. There's probably enough room there to get 3 or 4 cars. I've been quite fortunate to get parked here because I've been told this lay-by fills up quite quickly with walkers, but it's Friday today and I've took a day off work, so it's probably quiet because there'll be a lot of people at work. I dare say tomorrow it will be quite busy. There's a little bit of history there about Geffren. This is going to be my first camp up in the Cheviot Hills. I've done a little bit of research over the last week or two, familiarising myself with the different fell tops and with the areas to park. Right, I'm going to chuck the rucksack on and we'll set off. Absolutely beautiful. Like I said earlier, this is my first time camping out in the Cheviot Hills. In fact, it's my first time camping away from the Lake District. But I'll let you know where we're going. Just ahead of us there are what you call the tors. There's Easter Tor, Wester Tor and Hare Tor. Now, our destination for tonight is Easter Tor, which is, I think it's just this one here. So we should get some good views off there. But yeah, this is only my second time in the Cheviot. The first time was about 1.5 years ago when me and the brother-in-law Spadge came up for a walk. And that day we walked up the Cheviot. I think we parked down at Langley Ford and we walked alongside Horse and Beck down to the College Valley alongside, I think it's College Burn, and then we headed off up to the Hen Hole, and that was absolutely fantastic. The Hen Hole, if you've never heard of it, it's a gully with several cascading waterfalls coming down it. It's absolutely stunning. I think I did a video for that walk. So what I'll do, I'll leave a link to that video at the end of this video. Check it out. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. But no, it was a fantastic day that. I think we covered about 12 miles. There are different routes to get to the Hen Hole. Like I said, we parked at Langley Ford, but I'm sure you can park at Hethpool and walk down into the College Valley that way. But yeah, definitely worth a visit. Looking at the cows in the field there. I'm pleased they're on that side. I'm not a big lover of cows. I do like beef though. Oh man, what a beautiful day. We're in the middle of autumn now. So the colours, and I don't know if the camera will do this justice, but the colours of the bracken and fern, all a dark orange golden colour, looking absolutely beautiful. The trees in the distance there, you can see all the yellows and oranges and golds, absolutely stunning. Autumn has got to be one of the best times of year for scenery. But saying that, when you hit autumn and winter, your days get shorter and your nights get longer, don't they? More time in the tent. Yeah, I think sunset, fingers crossed we might get a sunset, I think is at I think it's at about 25 past 4 today. As long as the weather stays like this, we might be in for a bit of luck here. Just check my new watch out there. I'm using it for the first time to navigate this route, and it's saying that we need to turn left here and follow the path round. I can see it all the way around there, goes all the way around here, across the top there, and all the way up to there. Yeah, new watch. I'm not going to say too much about it now. I'll wait till we get on top, get the tent pitched, get it settled down, and I'll give you all the crack then. So now, I'm currently walking along the path of the St Cuthbert's Way. The St Cuthbert's Way starts at Melrose Abbey in the Scottish borders and goes all the way to Holy Island. The route itself is 62.5 miles long, and it follows in the footsteps of the 7th century saint, taking in all the historical features along the way. Now, I only know that because I've just Googled it. I'm no historian. I think we've just hit the first incline now. Getting pretty steep. It's a nice grassy path. And that's where we're heading, just over there. I think we've got to get over this stile now. It does show a path there, but I've plotted the route to walk on the left side of the wall. So I'm going to get over here. I will stick to the planned route. Right, to the left of us here, you've got Yevering Bell. On its summit, there's the remains of the largest Iron Age hill fort in the area. The walls of that hill fort were around 2.5 metres high by over 3 metres thick. I'll have to have a look up there at some point. I think next time I visit the area, I might do a camp up there. From where I've parked, it's only about 1.5 miles, so it might make a good winter camp, that one. Just check the watch there, and we've got exactly a mile to go to get on the summit. It's saying our estimated time of arrival is 5 to 1. So what I might do is when I get up there, I won't pitch the tent straight away. I will have a look around to find a pitching spot, and then I think I'll have a sandwich, because I brought a nice chicken salad sandwich up with us for my dinner. So I'll have that, and then we'll look at putting the tent up. Yeah, I mentioned earlier about us being bang in the middle of autumn now, and looking at the beautiful autumnal colours. Look at this, man. Look at all the bracken. Looking absolutely stunning, isn't it? There's our stile there. We've got to get over that to get over the wall. I'll tell you what, mind, the watch is doing a good job of keeping us on track. It vibrated on my wrist to tell us when the turn was coming up, and then it vibrated again to tell us when we were at the turn. And looked across, and sure enough, there it is. Absolutely spot on. Yeah, I've just checked my OS map on my phone. The path splits here and here, and I was a little bit unsure of which direction to go. This is the pathway we need here to take up on the Easter Tor. You got the grouse shooting butt here. You can actually hear all the grouse as well. Yeah, further down when we crossed over the stile, and I said, I'll stick my route down there. Here's the gate, which we would have came through. So it has been a little bit of a longer route that coming up that way on the other side of the wall. But like I say, when you're unfamiliar with the area, stick to your planned route and you won't go far wrong. What a cracking autumn day. Absolutely beautiful. Couldn't have asked for any more. I started doubting myself last night because I checked the weather forecast last night and it was just forecast mist and fog and a 50% chance of rain. But how weather can change in 12 hours. And it's absolutely beautiful up here. Dare I say it, we might get a sunset. Well, I'm just loving all this. All these rolling fells over here. Look at that. It looks very similar to the Yorkshire Dales. I haven't done any camping over that way either yet. So, yeah, I might have to plan a camp in the Yorkshire Dales at some point as well. Yeah, also what's popular in the area is a herd of wild goats. They're not native to Britain. They were brought over here in the Neolithic times as livestock. I haven't seen any yet, but there is something up here, but I think they're just sheep. So I'll keep an eye out for the said goats. Right, we've reached a more hard-packed track there now, which will take us round and the final push up onto the summit. This is probably used for the farming vehicles or quads or whatever. Up there, they'll be looking over onto the Northumberland coastline and out to the North Sea. You have the likes of St Abbs and Holy Island and that over there. But we're going to get up onto Easter Tor. Yeah, I'm really enjoying this walk. It's been a nice change, getting out somewhere different. Saying that, the Lake District has been a bit of a washout this week. They've had a lot of rain, a lot of localised flooding. I read the other day there that Derwent water had risen by 3 metres in 48 hours. That's a lot of water. I think it's all started to recede now, so hopefully things will get back to normal in the lakes. I hope it hasn't affected people too badly. Yeah, just looking all over here, you can see where they've been burning the heather all round. You can see all the patches of heather that have been burned. Here we are on the summit of Easter Tor, 438 metres. And what can I say? Wow, look at this view, man. I'll be looking over to the coastline in the distance. Absolutely fantastic. Right, I'm going to have a good look around on the top and I'm going to find somewhere suitable to pitch my tent. The wind is up a little bit more on top. It was next to nothing down there, but it probably is about 8 to 10 miles per hour on top. and it is coming in from a sort of southeasterly direction as forecasted. But I'm just in all the place. Absolutely fantastic. 360-degree views all the way around. All rolling hills. Beautiful. Well, I've had a good look around on top, and I think I've found the ideal spot to pitch my tent. Just down here. It seems reasonably flat. This will be my views all around here. If we get a sunset tonight, it'll be over in this direction here, and the aim will be to put the foot end of my tent into the wind, which is in this direction, the southerly direction, which means my door will be pointing to the west or southwest. If we get a sunrise in the morning, it'll be in that direction over there. So although I am in a little bit of a dip, I can quite easily walk up there in the morning, and if need be, I can put my camera on time lapse and get a bit of footage. I think I've settled for this spot here. It's only 1:45 at this moment in time. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to have my sandwich and then just chill out for a little bit, because I think it's a little bit early to get the tent up. Like I say, sunset isn't until about 4:20, something like that. So yeah, I'll speak to you in a bit. What an absolutely perfect day. Out in the Cheviot Hills. Absolutely perfect. Right, I've had my sandwich. Really nice. It's 2:30 now. I haven't seen anybody up here, so I think I'm going to pitch my tent. Yeah, I'm going to pitch it here, just where I said. When I'm going camping, I always separate everything, so I can strap the poles to the side of my bag. I put the pegs into the top of my bag, and I put the tent in another stuff sack, so I can compact it really small, and then that just sits in the top of my bag. The other thing I always do when I'm pitching my tent, especially when it's windy, I'll assemble the poles first, have my pegs at hand, and then that way I'm not messing on trying to keep the tent positioned while I'm putting the poles together. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to assemble my poles. I'll strap that to my rucksack. I've decided to bring the Terranova Pioneer Light 2 out for its second outing. I thought, with it being autumn, and the days being shorter, and the nights being longer, I thought I'll have a bit of comfort, a bit more space in a two-person tent. And it gives us the chance to try it out again. The previous time I used it was, I think, 2 camps ago when I was on Sand Hill in the Lake District. It's a cracking tent. I haven't seen many people use it on YouTube either, so I don't really know how it'll handle bad weather, but like I say, I'm sure it'll be all right for tonight. Like I say, the wind speed's only going to get up to around about 15 miles per hour with about 17, 18 mile an hour gusts. I had my anemometer out there earlier and it was only showing about 9 miles per hour. So anyway, that's the 2 poles assembled there. So you've got the red pole and the blue pole there. So next thing is get the footprint and my pegs. That's the only other downside with this tent is the footprint doesn't attach to the tent. You've got to put the footprint down first and then the tent on top of the footprint. Where in my other tents, the footprint attaches to the tent. So the tent does literally pitch in one go. But it's not the end of the world. So I'll get a couple of pegs out at hand. Now the tent, when it came with 8 shepherd's hook style pegs and 8 of the Terra Nova pegs. So I discarded the Cheviot Hills pegs. I don't really rate them. So that's one of the Terra Nova pegs there. Little Y-shaped peg. And then what I also bought was some MSR groundhogs. So what I'll do is I'll use the Terra Nova pegs for actually pegging the tent out. I'll use the MSR groundhogs for pegging where the poles are. And then I also have some 9-inch Eastern pegs for the guy lines. So that's the footprint down. Now when I put my tent away, I always fold it in the direction of the foot end of the tent, or what I prefer as the foot end. That way I know when I'm unrolling it, I've got hold of the foot end so that I can lay it out in the direction of the winds, as you can see. I'm going to fade the pole through. And then the red. Little clips on there onto the poles. You can see now that the tent's starting to take shape. So now it's just a case of going round and tensioning everything up. So you've got the adjusters on each of the corners. So I just need to get them tensioned right. And that's more or less it. See the general shape of the tent there. So I'm going to go around and finish tweaking it up, and I'll get the guy lines put out, and then we'll get all the gear put inside. Right then, that's the tent pitch there now. There was a couple of pegs, proved a little bit difficult to get in. There must be rocks directly underneath, so I've had to put them in a position that I wouldn't normally put them, but they've got a good purchase now though, so that's all that matters. And like I said, the wind's not going to get up too strong tonight. I think max gusts are going to be around about 16 miles per hour, so this tent should be able to hack that. But I'll give you a look around. So that's the Pioneer, the Terra Nova Pioneer Light 2. I've just noticed, look at all the ladybirds. Yeah, not a bad pitch that, if I say so myself. The sun's come back out again because it did go behind that cloud there. It's looking a little bit less likely that we're going to get a sunset. I'm not bothered. I've had a cracking walk up here today and the weather's been absolutely brilliant, so it's not the end of the world. Anyway, I'm going to get all my gear in the tent and I'll show you what I've got. Right, so as you can see, this tent is huge inside. So start off loading my gear in. Right, that's all my gear set up in the tent now, so I'll quickly show you it all. So my sleep system is the usual Thermarest Neo X mat, the mountain equipment Helium 600 sleeping bag. I've been getting a new pillow. After my last wild camp with Paul, a Cumbrian lad outdoors, he was showing us his pillow. This is the Sea to Summit Eros premium pillow, and it's got like an extra nice soft textured surface on it. It's absolutely spot on, and that's in a size large. Now my old pillow was the Sea to Summit Eros ultralight pillow, but that is really nice, that. Spot on. Looking down the bottom of my tent there, got my rucksack here, couple of stuff sacks, one with all my down gear in, so in them bags I've got me down jacket, my down trousers and my down booties. In this bag here I've got my nighttime gear, so thermal bottoms, thermal top, socks and a hat and a spare fleece. Coming round to my cook set for the night. So I've got the GSI cook pot there, and inside that I've got another pot for boiling my water. I've got the MSR Winpro 2 stove, my Yeti mug there. I've got the Beavertown Gamma Ray and the Brewdog Wingman. For my food tonight, as you've already seen there, I've got a tin of chicken balti, and forget my other bag here. In here, I've got some Uncle Ben's Pale Ale rice. That'll go nice with the balti. For snacks, I've got some refrigerators there. These are the Chipotle chicken bites. A Scotch egg. Me milk for me coffee. Taylor's coffee bags there. Me up. Oh, the Yorkie. And a couple of cereal bars there for in the morning for breakfast. And that's it. Yep, that's it. That's everything. So what I'm going to do now is, I think I might actually crack a can open. I'll have one now, and I might have one later with me food. Well, it's 4 o'clock now. The sun was due to set at around about 20 past 4. Looking over towards the southwest there, you can see it's all covered in cloud, so no chance of a sunset. But if we come round and look towards the northeast area, looking over towards the coastline, you've still got that orange glow in the sky. But then if we look towards the southeast and the south, It looks horrible. And I've got a funny feeling the wind is going to bring that right over the top of us tonight. The wind's also picked up as well. I know I measured it at around about 8-9 mile an hour earlier on. I think we'll be looking at around about 12-15 miles per hour now. At least we had a canny afternoon, no. Couldn't have asked for any more with that. To be honest with you, I haven't seen a soul today. Not seen. Oh, I did. I saw one lad walking his dog. He parked up just behind me, and he set off about half an hour before me. And when I got about halfway up here, he was on his way back down. But that's the only person I've seen all day. I think I'm going to go in the tent. I think I'm going to get my thermals on now. Get myself ready for the night. Yeah, because that wind, it has got a bit of a chill to it now. Yeah, I'm going to get in the tent. Right, that's me all changed now. Got all my thermal gear on, all my down gear on. So I'm nice and toasty warm now. Anyway, I don't know if you can hear that, but the weather is picking up a little bit now. The wind's getting a little bit stronger. We've had a little bit of rain. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go out, have a wee, stretch my legs, and I'm going to check all the guy lines, make sure they're all nice and secure, just so that I know the tent's going to be okay for the night. And I think I'll come back in and make myself a brew. All right, let's give these guy lines a quick check over. There's only 4 of them, like. They all okay. Can't be too careful though, can you? Well, I'm going to go back in and put the stove on, make myself a brew. So like I said earlier, I've got the MSR WinPro 2 stove. I haven't had this out for a while. Oh, that's it there. All falls out. That's got the heater tube on it there, so in the colder months when your gas canister gets really cold and the pressure drops in the canister, you can actually invert the canister and have liquid fuel going into the tube, which then will heat that and cause it to combust better. So that's that. In there, yeah, I've got some foil for the base, and there's a windshield there, which I don't think I'll need inside here. What I have got the stove on though is I've got my little chopping board that I modified. One side has the titanium matting on it, and I've also got my soldering mat. That'll all prevent me burning the bottom of the tent or the footprint. So in my big pot here, this is the GSI pot. I've got another GSI coke set here. So the pot is for my curry later on. Get over there. Inside here, got my little gas canister there. Pop the lid off that. Connect it up. And inside here, I've got my little grippers there. You've seen all this before. I'll show you again. Little spoon there as well. take that sleeve off there. So this pot here, you can actually put that onto your stove, warm your water up, put the pot back into the sleeve, and then you can hold that, and you've got the lid with a little bit of a sippy hole there. So you can put that back on and you can have your coffee straight out of that. But I just like to keep it for water. What we'll do is we'll get some water. Just put my head torch on so I can measure it out. D. Open the tent door a little bit, give us a bit of ventilation there. So what I've got here is my ferro rod. I'll use that for lighting the stove. So turn the gas on. And there you go. Nice Taylor's coffee bag there. Flying start. Your rubbish bag. Right, there's the packaging off my sandwich earlier. I'll go in there as well. Right, that's the water boiling there. Knock the gas off. Get a little foldy spoon there. Give this a good stir. Leave that for a couple of minutes to brew. Well, that's the brew made. Cheers, everybody. Very nice. I tell you what, mind, you can't beat a better place to sit and chill and wind down than being in your tent out on a fell. It's absolutely fantastic. It's brilliant. Love it. And I'm so glad I made the effort to come out up into the Cheviot Hills, because it's an absolutely beautiful place, and I will definitely be back. Well, I've had a nice cup of coffee there. I didn't have a can earlier, so I'm going to have one now. I think I'm going to have the Wingman, 7.2%. Oh, very nice. Right, on the way up today, I said I'd been getting a new watch, and here it is. It's the Garmin Phoenix 7X Pro Sapphire Solar. Now, I've been fancying this watch for a good while now. When they released the Phoenix 8, I thought, oh, I'll wait and see if the prices drop on the Phoenix 7 series, but they didn't drop that much. Anyway, that was until about 3 or 4 weeks ago. I had a look on the internet, and Blacks, Go Outdoors, Ultimate Outdoors and Millets all had it for £499. I thought, you know what, I'm going to have some of that. To be honest, I was doubting that it was the Sapphire Solar version, but when I doubly checked, it was, so I bought it. Now, I was in two minds of getting the Phoenix 8 Pro, but I wasn't keen on spending nearly £1,000 on a watch. So when this was for £500, I thought it's a no-brainer really. It's, pardon me, it's half the price. And to be honest with you, the features on this
I'll probably only use about 90% of I'll only use about 10% of them. 90% of them I probably won't use. So I basically got it for the navigation reasons, really, just to save us getting my phone out all the time. Because I tell you what, this time of year, or when you get into the winter months and it's absolutely freezing and your hands are freezing and you've got to take your gloves off to check your phone, there's nothing worse than trying to get your gloves on, especially when your hands are wet. It's an absolute nightmare. So I wanted a smartwatch just so that I could download the maps and routes to the watch and use the watch for navigation purposes. And the other features on it, like checking the weather, checking your elevation, what your heart rate is, all them little things I'll use, but all the other stuff like the training features and stuff like that I'll never ever use. I think the Phoenix 8, I think the only good thing about that is it does have the AMOLED screen, which is a brighter screen, where this is a backlit screen. But to be honest with you, it's... I'll bring it on there. Yeah, that's it there. That's it there. So it's bright enough and it's spot on, and today is the first time that I've used it for navigating, and it got me up here. It's absolutely spot on. The turning alerts were bang on. It actually kept me right at one point because I didn't check the map, and I walked past me turn off, and the watch vibrated a couple of times to let us know that I had walked past. So spot on. So that's why I got that. I've been wanting one a long time, and I finally pushed the boat out and got myself one. So why not? I'm absolutely loving this tent. There's absolute acres of space in this. I didn't realise how much I missed the space. After spending a lot of time in me Hillyberg Solo or me Fjellraven Abisko Light 1, you do get used to the space of a one-person tent, but when you go back into a two-person tent, you do realise the luxury of having all the space. Hey, look at this. It's class. I've even got my rucksack in here, look at that. Big 65-litre rucksack there. Spot on. Look at that. All that space in the vestibule there. My sleeping mats here. But there's tons of space. It's class. Really like it. There's another little feature that I want to show you on this tent. It's all to do with the door. So I'll turn the camera around. I'll try and get it lined up on the door. So looking down here, there's a little clip. It serves two purposes. So one is you can clip it in at the bottom here to secure the door to prevent the zip riding up through the night if the wind gets up. And the other thing you can do is there's a clip up here. So if you unzip the door, I'm going to have to put the camera down, take the said clip and put it into that one, then pull the zip down. That makes that go all taut, but then what you've got is this gap under here for ventilation. So that'll come in handy if the weather wasn't great outside and you were cooking inside your tent. But yeah, I think that's a cool little feature, that, especially if the weather's not great outside, like it isn't too great tonight. I don't know if you can hear that, but it's absolutely pouring down now. And the wind's blowing in this direction, so the wind's just going to blow straight underneath the door. So if I was doing any cooking, it would affect me gas. So, but yeah, no, it's a cool little feature for any other time when it's not windy. Yeah, I thought I'd show you that. I've just come out the tent there to stretch my legs while it stopped raining. May as well have another check round the tent as well. Some light onto it. Aye, we'll have a walk back up onto the summit. It's up there.
Aye, pitch black now. Can't say a lot. Yeah, like I said earlier, this time of year, you can spend up to around about 15 hours in your tent. Like I said, it's starting to get dark at about 4 o'clock, and then sunrise in the morning isn't till around about 7:30. So get out the tent while you can, stretch your legs. I'm going back down now though, because it is freezing. Back in where it's nice and warm. I'm getting a bit peckish now, so I might have me food. Right, gonna cook me food now. The thing I like about this MSR Winpro 2 stove is it's got a Kraken simmer control on it. Turn that right the way down so it doesn't start burning the food to the pan. Right, that's the curry warm through now. So what I'll have to do is cook the rice. So it says in a microwave. Oh, damn it. I forgot to bring the microwave. Right, in a pan, squeeze the pouch to separate the rice. Boil 30 ml, 2 tablespoons of water, add the rice, cover and simmer for 3 minutes. Stir rice through for a perfect finish. Well, it doesn't give the option for chucking it straight into the pan of curry, because that's what I'm going to do. So I'll give it a good squeeze there to separate the grains. Pop it open. And we'll add it to the pan. There we go. Oh yes. Got a good stir now. All mixed in and warm the rice through. Beautiful. Look at that. Spot on. Well, that's me scran cooked now. Give it a try. Chicken balti and pilau rice. It is good to have some nice real food for a change. Although it is out of a tin, but it is nice to have a change from having the dehydrated meals. I do still like the real Termap meals as a dehydrated meal, but even this out of a tin is another step up. Oh yes, look at that. Oh, piping hot. It just tastes nicer and all when you're camping. Just what the doctor ordered on a cold, wet, damp night. Beautiful. Big chunks of chicken in that. Oh. Does life get any better than this? I don't think so. Right. I've not long since finished my food. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Really nice. I'm full now though. I'm just done finishing my can off, and then I'll be thinking about getting the stove put on, make myself a brew, and have my Yorkie bar.
But since we last spoke, I've just been laid down, nearly fallen asleep, just totally chilled out, relaxing, listening to the rain patter on the tent and listening to the wind hammer the tent. But no, it's all been nice. I've just been reflecting on the day. Even the drive up to the Cheviot, it was misty as hell, foggy, and I thought, what have I let myself in for here? But when we got here, it was nice and sunny and blue skies. It was absolutely fantastic. What time is it? It's 10 to 10 now. So yeah, I'm going to get that stove put on. I think I'll probably get up about 6 o'clock in the morning because sunrise is at 25 past 7. So if I get up at 6 o'clock, that'll give us plenty of time to get most of my gear packed away, have a brew, have some breakfast, and then if there's a sunrise, I may put the camera out on time lapse. If there isn't a sunrise, then I'll just get the tent dropped and get packed away and get back down to the van. Right, coffee time here. Oh, can only mean one thing. Out in the Cheviot Hills. Yes, you've guessed it. It's Yorkie time! Get in there! The good old-fashioned Yorkie bar. Solid and strong. The best chocolate bar around. Let's give it a blast. Oh! Oh! You can't go camping and not have a Yorkie bar. Definitely not. It has to be a ritual at the end of the night. Cup of coffee and the good old-fashioned Yorkie bar, solid as a rock. Love it. Delicious. Oh. Well, I've been out, had a wee, brushed my teeth, and I'm all tucked up in my bed, so catch us all in the morning. Good night. Well, good morning. I've just woke up before my alarm clock. It's 10 to 6. My alarm clock was set for 6 o'clock, so I've just knocked that off. I've had a pretty decent night's sleep. Woke up a couple of times through the night, which is normal for me anyway. That was due to the wind and the rain. But other than that, it's been a pretty good night's sleep. I've been nice and toasty warm. The only thing that I've woke up to is a lot of condensation on the inside of the tent, which has been dripping down onto my sleeping bag, and my sleeping bag is pretty damp. Now, what I normally do before I go to sleep is I'll make sure that I leave the inner door slightly open and the outer fly slightly open, just to give us that little bit of extra airflow. But I didn't do that last night. I zipped them both up fully, hence the condensation. But anyway, the sleeping bag will get aired off when I get home. Anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get up. I'll see what the weather's doing outside. I'm going to go out, have a wee, and then I'm going to make myself a brew, have my cereal bars, and then I think I'll start packing some of my gear away. So I'll speak to you in a bit. Well, there's not a lot to see out here at the minute this morning. Still pitch black. But it's not windy and it's not raining. So that's a bonus. Well, as you can see, I've got the stove back on there now. Made myself a nice warming morning brew. And
couple of cereal bars there. I've just packed all my down gear away, put my pillar away. I'm just trying to leave me sleeping bag as long as possible to air off before I need to stuff that away. But it'll get a good airing off when I get home. The same as the tent. I'll make sure the tent's fully dry when I get home before it's packed away. Yeah, I've enjoyed this camp. First time in the Cheviot. It's been really good. But I'm definitely looking forward to this brew. Yeah, the plan this morning is I'll get the rest of my gear packed away. Hopefully then we'll be able to look out to see if there's a break in the cloud, to see if we're going to get a sunrise. If I do think we'll get a sunrise, then I'll put the camera out on time lapse and I'll put some footage up on the screen. If I don't think we'll get a sunrise, then I'll just get the tent dropped, pack it all away, and we'll head back down to the van. Happy Saturday morning, everybody. Cheers. Oh. Yes, it's looking quite nice out here now. You can see a lovely orange glow appearing in the sky now over here. That's over onto the Northumberland coastline. I think we'll have a little walk back up to the summit and get some of the views from there. Yeah, it's looking really nice over here. Right, got all the rest of the gear packed away in my bag there now. So I've just got to drop the tent now. I've put all the guy lines away, but as you can see, the tent, it's still absolutely soaking wet. So I'll just have to get it back out when I get home and put it up in the garden and let it air off properly before I put it away. Always remember, look after your gear and it'll look after you. Right, that's the tent packed away. That's my rucksack packed. I've checked the area, made sure I've left no pegs, made sure I've left no rubbish, left it as I found it, and that's the way it should be. Always remember to leave no trace. It's been absolutely fantastic camping up on Easter Tor, but unfortunately, it's time to leave and get back down to the van. Yeah, we've just come down that path there from Easter Tor. If you wanted to go up to Wester Tor and you were parked down at Geffren, you would get to this little fork here and you would take this path and that would take you straight up and round onto Wester Tor. I tell you what, mind, I really am impressed with the watch for navigation purposes. It's definitely kept me on track. Like I say, I've just come down there and I could have quite easily walked past me turning, but the watch vibrates and lets us know that I'm approaching turning, and it'll vibrate again to let us know when I'm at the turning. Spot on. Quite easy to do the mapping as well. I used OS Maps to plot my route, and then I downloaded the GPX file to the Garmin Connect and then synced that with the watch. Pretty straightforward really. Alright, it's a really nice place, the Cheviot. I think it'll be a different story up here in the winter months though, especially when you've got snow down. But what I have seen is a lot of marker posts, so they should keep you on track. Hello. Wow, look at that. Just see the sunshine hitting the side of the hills there. Absolutely beautiful. I bet it's hitting the top of Easter Tar now. If I'd stayed up there another half hour, I would have gotten that. Never mind. I was just looking on the sign on the gate back there, and it said cows in the field with calves. I'm pleased they weren't there. I don't like cows. My mate messaged us last night asking where I was. I told him, and he said he'd camped on Easter Tar, and he said he had to walk through a field of cows, and that's probably been the field that I've come through there. But fortunately for me, they weren't there. Just looking over in the field here, there's the cows with the calves. Yeah, I'm pleased they're on that side. Sunshine out. That's always a good sight to see. Your vehicle, where you left it. I don't know if there's anybody else out there that has the same worry in the back of the mind when they first leave the vehicle, when they're heading off out on a camp, whether it's going to be still there when you get back in the morning, or if it's been damaged. If you do, it'd be good to hear from you in the comments. Or is it just me? Right, I'm not too far from the van now, so I'm going to wrap this one up here. It's been absolutely fantastic camping in the Cheviot for the first time. The camp last night was brilliant. The walk up onto Easter Tar was equally brilliant. The weather was spot on. We had nice sunshine and blue skies. However, that did change going into the evening where we had wind and rain. But the camp itself was absolutely fantastic. I'm just going to turn you around here while I'm wrapping this one up. Look at that over there, man. It's looking class. Anyway, getting back to wrapping this one up. To say the Cheviot Hills is only about 76 miles from where I live in County Durham. It's about the same distance to the Lake District, so there's no real difference in time and distance for me to get here, so I will be visiting the place again. So until next time, get yourself out in the great outdoors, remember to leave no trace, and stay safe. Catch you all later. Ta-ra for now.